The big news over the weekend is James Franklin got fired as the head coach at Penn State. And when you're the first team since 1978 to lose consecutive games as a favorite of 20 or more points, and you were already on a warm seat, they decided, $49 million to go away. I wish somebody would do that. Like, I don't want you around so much. Here, take this money and go away. But James Franklin, he'll get a job. If you look at his overall record, you go, dang, that's impressive. It is until you start looking at the meaningful games. And as I said last week, and I heard from the Penn State alumni, why are you picking? Why are you piling on? I'm only pointing out something. If you want to be a big-time program, you have to have high standards. Michigan wouldn't have settled for that. Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, just to name a few. You don't lose those games. You don't lose that many games to top 10 teams. And they did, and it cost you. Seton, poll question, what are you thinking about?
Well, we normally start with who had the worst weekend. But this one, I want to start before we can populate who had the worst weekend. We have to figure out if this person actually had a bad weekend or not. James Franklin.
Yeah.
Did he have a bad weekend? Got fired. Lost another one. But is likely going to get picked up pretty soon by a probably pretty good program and got a massive check for getting fired. Is that a bad weekend?
It's an embarrassing weekend. It's like, you're a really good guy, but you had one night that you messed up. And you're like, all right, that feels bad. And you wake up the next day and you go, all right. And then further along, it doesn't feel as bad. I think the embarrassing part of that, but boy, that it'll make you feel a whole lot better with that $49 million. So I would say it in the moment, had a bad night, bad weekend, lost his job, but bigger picture is you're going to get paid and he'll coach someplace else next year. Yes,
but he's going to get that, $49 million, and then he's going to get hired at a place like Arkansas or something who's going to be like, holy crap, we got James Franklin. This is amazing. And he's going to be treated like a savior there. That's how he's going to land on his feet for getting fired. It's crazy. I don't know that there is a more lucrative profession than being a failed college football coach.
No doubt.
It's the best gig in the world.
Yeah. And we'll talk to Rick Neuheisel about that. Did they do the right thing? Because this is mid-season, and this is where you don't want somebody to win their way back. And he could have won his way back. And then now you have a real dilemma as well. Well, you could always fire him, but this is where this can't continue. But, man, you have to ask the alumni and the boosters, hey, we have to pony up and pay this guy off. Somebody's got to write a check. Yeah, Paul.
And this buyout for James Franklin goes back to 2021. In 2020, he was 4-5. In 2021, he was 7-6, and people were bailing on him. The current president gave him a 10-year extension after a 7-6 season, which is still being questioned by people in Penn State. But the next 3 years, 11 wins, 10 wins, 13 wins.
Why a 10-year deal?
After a 7-6 season.
Even if he was, had 11 wins, like 10 years, it's an eternity. And yes, you may lose your coach, but you got to be damn sure if you're going to give him a 10-year deal. You have to be sure. And I was never sure in it because he didn't win big games. And if that's what you want to be, and you want to prove that you belong with Ohio State and Michigan and Oregon in the Big Ten, now Indiana in the big, you have to, hey, we don't put up with this. Yes, Eaton.
But I think that he got a 10-year deal because that's kind of the norm, isn't it? Like, you could even go back to Charlie Weiss where he got a 10-year deal, and then people, they just get 10-year deals with a monstrous buyout at the end of it, knowing that no one's ever going to see the end of that contract, the life of that contract.
I just don't understand 10 years. Even for baseball players, hey, we're giving them a 15-year deal. Man, there's a lot that can go wrong in 15 years, 10 years. With a coach, 5 years, that's the max 5 years. 5 years. Then you can establish your identity. You can get your players. We can find out how good you are. Then after that, then we can discuss. But, man, that's expensive divorce. Yeah, Paulie.
However, if you're Indiana University, you have to offer your coach Signetti a 10-year contract now, or someone else will in February. And
But isn't 5 years enough?
it's like a game that's being played by the agents of college football, and everyone's in on the joke. They all work together to get these monster extensions for each other because they know they'll get it elsewhere.
But I'm going to give you 5, but I'm going to pay you accordingly. Signetti at Indiana is like the 6th highest paid coach in the Big Ten.
Right.
I'm going to pay you in accordance to what you're doing and what you've done with this program. I'm going to give you 5 years. I don't need to give you 10. Are you here for the bigger picture? Because we're here for this at 5 years. And he might say, or his agent go, hey, why not 10? This guy got 10 and that guy got 10. No. College football is changing too rapidly. And you can be really good and then really bad. And I think that's where you have to be careful with falling in love with somebody. Yes, Eaton.
Yeah, I mean, you look, Jimbo Fisher, 10-year contract. James Franklin, obviously. Brian Kelly, 10-year deal. Kirby Smart, 10-year extension. They're all getting these 10-year contracts to maximize whatever money they could get.